And we are live. Heyo! It's the OmniDog and OmniCat comic book review show with me and Kristen. How's it going, Kristen?
Oh, it's good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm much better than I have been. I had a sore back all week, and
That's the
today is the
worst.
day it's finally lifted, and I'm able to do the shows and
I'm glad to
everything.
hear it.
They make me feel better anyway, just to be on the air, talking to you about fun comic books, just hanging out. It's a
You
good
know,
feeling.
it's funny. I've read a lot of comics this week, and a lot of them were bad. And
Oh,
I'm like,
really?
I'm not bringing them here, though. I'm bringing you the good ones. I want you to enjoy the good ones, because last week I brought some bummers. I'm like, no, we're going to do the good ones.
Okay, let's see, how many did I read a lot of multi-part books, like 3 or 4 trades in each series, and I read my first Hoopla book. That's the surprise.
Oh my gosh.
What a surprise.
Did you have such a good time?
I did. It was free, and
Yeah.
it was actually a good book too.
Right. That's the best time, though, right? You're like, I didn't pay him any money for this, even if it sucks. Like, I found, I talked to my friend Mary, who watches the show sometimes, and, we talk about Hoopla reads and how when we read something on Hoopla, the expectations aren't as high as something you own because you have nothing invested. So if you hate it, it's fine. It was totally free. And when we review it, I feel like we're a little more lenient on those books.
Ah, okay. That's
because when
you're probably right.
Yeah, because when you buy something, you're invested in it, and you get extra mad if you're like, oh, I paid for this garbage? That's terrible.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. We got Z Collects, and it's an Instagram follower of mine, and I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Kietel? Am I saying that right? Kietel? Travis Gilmer, who pushed me to be into Hoopla. I'm doing my first Hoopla.
Good job, Travis.
Yeah, he did. He was relentless, so that's good. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Sure. You know what? I'd kind of like to show you something real quick that I got for Christmas, and I forgot to mention last time. So, because it's such a unique gift, I feel like I need to applaud my husband who gave it to me. And he made this little hardcover comic book about our cats. This says Buffy Kitty. That's our cat Buffy. And the back is our cat Willow with one eye. It says Willow Kitty. Buffy Kitty, Willow Kitty is my cat Instagram. So that's where that came from.
Oh.
But it's a little hardcover. There's a little hardcover book underneath. And it is full of like these inside jokes that we have with our cat. So like,
well, he drew it all?
Yeah, he drew everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really, really funny. I like cried laughing. It's very short, but it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
What a great book.
Yeah, like no one else would, read something like this. Actually, I told him, I said, these are funny cat stories and the internet loves cats. So he should probably put something together like this. But, like I always, our cat Buffy will stretch, and I'll make the joke. This is so tall, like 6 feet, because I make that joke all the time, and it's not funny. But I'm like, she's so tall, she's like 6 feet tall. Like, so it's just full of like these really funny inside jokes. Like that's him kissing Buffy, and she's screaming because she hates kisses, and that's me calling Willow a baby, because that's what I do. It's really great. So, and then he's a Merry Christmas. So he made this whole thing, and I had to like show it off. Also, this is just such a cool, like nice quality dust jacket.
Yeah. Where do you get it done?
I'll have to ask him. I'm not sure. It was a total surprise for me because I didn't expect it, but I just wanted to show this off. I thought it was awesome. Such a cool gift.
How's the spine? No, I'm kidding.
Well, there's nothing on the spine, but I won't fault him there. I'll just display it like this. But okay, speaking of read, this is something that he told me to read, and I finally did. It's been sitting on our shelves forever. One of those books, right?
I got a room full of them.
Yeah, right. And that is Herobear and the Kid.
Oh, I've heard of this book.
Oh my gosh. So this was a total joy. It is about, let's show you some of this beautiful art, which is like very nice, like line work. The only color throughout this whole thing is, there's a lot of grays and a little bit of brown, but mostly Hero Bear has a cape and it's red. So like you will see like red tones kind of on black and white. It's really, really nice artwork. But the story itself is fantastic. So it's about this little boy, and he moves with his parents into his grandfather's big old house because his grandfather dies. And he's really excited because he knows he's going to like get something, some sort of inheritance. And, his sister got like some really cool stuff. And he ends up getting this little stuffed bear sitting on his bed here. And he's like, what is this nonsense? Like, I don't even want to play with this bear. I can't bring it to school. Kids are going to make fun of me. Like, why is this all that I got? Right. But he's sad about losing his grandfather. His grandfather's a really nice guy. And one night, let me see if I can find it. But he is holding the bear and he's like talking to it, and he's getting bullied at school, and he's just like, this stupid bear, and he like ends up kind of hitting it in the nose, and it like crashes against the wall, and there's a flash, and then that little bear turns into this very like this 10-foot tall big old polar bear with a cape.
Oh, fun.
He's so little and he's huge. And he's like, whoa, what just happened? What's going on? This little stuffed bear turned into this huge, enormous polar bear. So, and you'll see here, there's the example of the red kind of throughout this really nice black and white artwork.
I like the art a lot.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's so unique and animated, and I loved it. So from then on, he talks to this big bear and he's like, what's going on? And he realizes that this bear was someone his grandfather knew. And he, finds out a lot of things about him, but it ends up like his grandfather built this bear, and they go on adventures together and like fight like evil robots. And like he becomes kind of the sidekick, which is where the name comes from, Herobear and the Kid. So the boy is the kid. And it's just then on about like he discovers more and more about his grandfather, some like twists and turns I didn't expect. And it was just such a joy to read. It was one of those, like, it felt like a classic tale that you can like sit down with and just lose yourself in. It was very fun and over the top.
I can't wait to get this.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And this said volume 1, so I actually haven't looked into like, I know there are more stories. I want to look on Hoopla. Like, I haven't checked it yet, but
who is the publisher?
It's Boom. It's Kaboom. It's the kids' imprint of Boom.
Okay.
And so this is a great all ages story, and there's tons of text. That is one thing I will say, like, but it's narrated in a kind of like one of those like classic kind of stories that you tell. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was and that's why there were so many words, I think, but it was great. And this is great. Again, all ages, kids would love this. But I loved it too. It was a total joy. Here's Herobear and that robot that they fight.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Herobear's like the best. He's awesome. And this kid's like really entertaining too. So yeah, I recommend this to anyone. This is a nice chunky hardcover paperback. I don't think there's a hardcover, and it says volume 1, The Inheritance. So I assume there's more. I haven't looked into how much more, but pick this up. I got this actually bargain priced at Books A Million. So maybe you can find it locally on clearance or get a good deal. I don't know. But it's worth every penny.
Oh, that means I have to leave the house. I want
Just
my
get it
book to come
online.
to me.
You can get it online.
Yeah. I don't like leaving the house. That means people.
Yeah, it's too much.
Too much. Too much. We have some people wishing us Happy New Year's.
Oh, thank you.
If you say what? The stalwart fan of ours. Thank you, Jesse. Hayden McGee, our buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Hayden.
And Hayden had the funny comment. He came in just in the middle of it. I don't know what's going on, but this sounds like the best thing ever.
It is.
And Lloyd Wong says it's on IST, if he remembers correctly. Thank you, Crazy Jane. I am feeling better. That's why I'm able to do this. I was feeling lousy up until yesterday, but I feel much better. It was my back.
Oh, Justin Bear said Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah, there were a lot of comparisons when I was reading reviews for this about Calvin and Hobbes. So I think if you're into that, like, you'll definitely enjoy this too.
Well, who doesn't love Calvin and Hobbes?
I
That's
know,
a huge
right?
void in my life for the past 20 years. And I went on Hoopla, so let me see if I can get it going. Ding, 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 ding. No, I entered the wrong passcode. See, we're not off to a good start already. Here it is. Sonata, Valley of the Gods, from Image.
I like that cover.
Let me highlight myself. I'm trying to do two things at once. There we go. Yeah, it's really awesome. I would be happy to own this. It's volume 1. I would be happy to own this in trade paperback. It's an alternate world where you can ride around on these creatures. But there's 2 races that live on this world. One is warlike and the other is peaceful and ride these creatures. And Sonata is the main character. She's the girl. So you'll be getting my email on this as we go along. Sonata's the main girl. And they live in a land that's populated with sleeping giants. And in this, whoops, where am I going here? Okay, wrong way. In this land are literally this valley of stone giants. And it comes down to war between the 2 sides, but they agree on a compromise truce to get something they both need, but they have to go through the valley of these sleeping giants, and they're trying to figure out. You're wondering, and they think these giants are gods, and so these giants are huge and slumbering, and the main gist of the story is something wakes them up and come to life. And it gets exciting from there. As you can see, the artwork is really awesome. And I loved this book. I loved it enough that I'm going to read it on Hoopla, and when it comes out in hardcover, I'm going to read it in hardcover.
Perfect plan.
Right? I'm a Hoopla user. So this is Sonata by Image. Come on, you. There you go. And there's one of the giants.
Oh, that looks cool.
Yeah. They are giant. It reminds me of a video game that I played on the PS2. I think called Colossus or something. I can't remember. Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah. So it's pretty impressive. I really enjoyed Sonata by Image. Let me see if I can figure out who wrote it and who drew it. It is by story David Hine and Brian Haberlin, and art is by Brian Haberlin. So I urge everyone to pick up Sonata. It was a blast, and it's just one volume right now, but it's a continuing story, and the story is interesting enough that I want to pick up the next volumes.
Yeah, I'll definitely use one of my Hoopla credits for that one. Isn't that the best feeling? You're like, I know I like this. I'm not going to waste my money.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's great.
Wait, I already have a comment. Wait, not no. It's just you're never going to catch up on all those books piling up on the floor now that you're using Hoopla. I have a desk in the middle of the room now that took up all those piles. My bookshelf desk. So there are no piles. Well, there's less piles. Jess is cheating on his hardcovers.
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah. She does have the look of Catwoman because she's up in the air riding these big winged birds, so she's got to have goggles on.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a big recommendation from me.
All right, and this one's a big recommendation from me. It has also been sitting on my shelf for far too long, so I finally decided to pick up Tomboy by Liz Prince. This is a graphic memoir by Liz Prince, who I loved her Coda and the Creepies book, which I think you would really love, Jess. It's about a band and like ghosts and stuff, and it's
the two favorite things.
I know, and I'm like, there you go. So it's great. Check that out sometime. But this is really great, like, you know, simple line work that she does. It's about her life growing up, and she really hated all things girly. You know, her relatives would want to make her wear dresses, and she's like, forget that. Like, so she wanted to dress like a boy, and she went to school like that. And of course, that's going to lead to a lot of bullying, which she deals with. And she likes quote unquote boy things. So this was a nice, like, you know, kind of verbal fight against what we think are genders, well, what are gender stereotypes. And,
okay.
You know, I've never been a girly girl either, and I like a lot of quote unquote boy stuff. There's a scene in here where she's like reading a comic next to a boy, and the boy's like, girls don't read comics, that's boy stuff, you know, and stupid stuff like that. But things that people, even adults, still think right now, right? You know, we've gotten comments on the Fangirl show that are very much like men not thinking we need an opinion because we're women talking about comics. You know, stupid stuff like that.
What? Seriously? I didn't know that.
It's happened in the past, yeah. Thankfully, not a lot, and not recently, but it's occurred. So, because people suck, right? But,
yeah, that's why I never leave the house.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it makes sense. Get all your books online. Who cares?
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with people. But this is great. And it, you know, goes into more than just comics. That's just you know, a part of it. And she also has a little brother who like grows his hair long, and that's just like how he likes his hair. He enjoys Nirvana, right? He's a little grunge dude. But the kids at school make fun of him because they're like, oh, you're a girl because you have long hair. And as a girl with short hair who has gotten stupid comments from people too, just because of that, like, this was super relatable to me. You know, I never wanted to wear dresses either. And it's not just about like attire and things like that, but just everything she likes is quote unquote considered boyish, and she gets a lot of flack from like kids about that. And she's just like, why does it have to be this way? And even as a child, she had these thoughts of like, this is so stupid, and why are things like this? Why do I have to shop in the boys section to get the clothes I like? You know, just simple things that, you know, maybe a lot of people don't think of, but I find it really relatable because I feel like I've always felt this way too.
Oh, okay.
And it was about more than that, and stories about her life that are like really fun, and some of them are funny, and some of them are sad, and
like an autobiography.
Yeah, like it's a great memoir. But it's great. It was really great. You know, a lot of people have read this and talked about it. She starts making zines when she's like a kid too, and that's how she got into like making comics herself. And it's just really cool. And you know, I've read something now that she's done. Like I said, Coda and the Creepies was fabulous. I loved everything about it. And she's continued on, and she makes a lot of kind of DIY kind of stuff, and I really enjoy that. She also likes a lot of great music in this, so she wears like this shirt all the time. She's wearing a Green Day Dookie shirt.
Oh.
And anyone who knew me, specifically in high school, there would be days where like a friend challenged me once to wear a different Green Day shirt every day. And I went like at least a month doing that. Because that's who I was. I was obsessed. But so she wears like Green Day shirts a lot. I could totally relate to that, and people would make fun of me for that then too. So it was just really great. Again, stories about her life. It's not just the gender roles and stereotypes, and it's about bullying, and she liked punk rock and the power of like fitting in and things like that. So it was really cool. So if you like graphic memoirs, this is something I think anyone would really enjoy. And I love her like artwork and her attitude, and this was awesome.
Okay, just so everybody knows, Forgerelli in the chat is just kidding. He's sarcastic and totally kidding. So don't jump up and down on him. Oh, that sounds awesome. I want to read, what is it? Cubby and the Creepy Crawlies? What'd you say?
Coda and the Creepies. Yeah, I think you'll like that one.
Okay.
I think you'll like this too, though. And if you haven't jumped into the graphic memoir, like quote unquote genre, it's a great one. It's one that like I've read a lot of books like this, if you enjoy people's lives, you'll like stuff like this. So I love that. I love nonfiction comics, and I think people don't read them enough.
Yeah, I love reading about people's lives as long as the people are away from me.
They're not near you.
Yeah, as long as they're not near me, I'll read about them. That sounds perfect.
Great.
I have an admission to make about my next selection. It's by Cullen Bunn, and with fantastic art by Vanessa Del Rey and Jesus Hervas. The first one, it's called Empty Man. It's by Cullen Bunn, who is a great horror writer. And this book is, if you want horror, this is a good book for you. Now, the issue is I read all three. There's 3 volumes, Empty Man, Manifestation, and Recurrence. And I read this and enjoyed it, but I admit some of it went over my head. Here's a look at the art. The art's really cool. It's about a virus that starts attacking people, and they all end up going crazy, and it gets bloody, and they keep saying, "The empty man made me do it." And religious cults form around it. It's like a worldwide pandemic. The FBI and the CDC are investigating it, and it affects everybody, just about. But a lot of religious cults spring up around it, thinking it's, you know, the end of days and things. And they call it, because they keep saying the empty man made me do it, they start searching for the empty man, and they find this entrance, and one of the FBI guys goes into it and disappears for a couple books, searching for the empty man because he's going to try and assassinate him. Meanwhile, they've people back on Earth think they've narrowed it down to a patient's dreams that have become manifest. And it goes on from there to then it's like a character study of how it affects one family, and these creatures start appearing out of people that have had the empty man virus. And I really, really enjoyed this book, but I will be the first to admit that I think the ending went over my head. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what he was trying to say with the ending, and maybe it's not an ending. You know, there could be a 4th book coming out, but the ending involves crossing over into that place where the FBI agent went, and one of them becomes the empty man herself, and I just wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting the ending. It was a really good ride. I really enjoyed it. I mean, if you like horror, this is way horror, gory horror. The Empty Man trilogy so far. Cullen Bunn, soon to be a major motion picture from 20th Century Fox. Maybe then I'll understand it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I heard it was optioned.
Okay.
I actually just checked that out from Hoopla. I haven't read it yet. So,
okay.
So now I'm kind of like, so it's worth the ride, even if you don't understand the ending, is what you're saying.
Yeah. It is. Now, wait, I'm reading something. Oh, okay. I was just wondering if maybe the chat knew what I haven't. No. Okay. Yeah, it was engrossing, interesting, well written. I just didn't quite get what he was saying at the end, and that's on me. I'll take the hit for that, because I love Cullen Bunn. I love, Harrow County. I love everything he's done. I just didn't get it. So that's my fault, not Cullen Bunn's fault. So I admit that to the audience. Try it and tell me what you think about it.
I'll have to read it and see if we're on the same page here. So then you can know if it's not just you, right?
What's that?
It may not be just you, so I'll have to read it. We'll see.
Oh, here's something from Lloyd Wong. It went over your head. You got Black Monday murders, and that confused the heck out of me. My background's in finance and econ, though, so I understood Black Monday murders perfectly. So that's I understand how Black Monday murders could confuse people by Hickman, but it was right in my wheelhouse, and I totally dug it. Yeah, read it and you tell me.
We'll do that. I got to mention Forgerelli's comment. He said he has a good personal story comic, Lighter Than My Shadow by Carrie Green. I read that last year, and it's really great. It's hard. She goes through a lot, but it's really good. So I agree. That one's great. And what else is great? I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know if you've read this, and now I'm curious. Have you read Young Avengers?
I haven't, and I haven't read it yet.
So this is the Young Avengers Omni. It's one of those little Omnis. By the team of Wicked and the Vine. Let me take this dust jacket off because that's annoying. Nobody wants a part of that, right?
Right.
So this is what is it? Jamie McKelvey and Kieran Gillen. So this story was about these young Avengers, which I have no experience with, like nearly any of these characters. But I thought this was really fun. I know a lot of people thought it was kind of middle of the road. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. I think I really enjoyed it. So I'm more toward love it, but I enjoyed it. The main story throughout this whole thing is two of the characters, which, you know what? I don't remember their names, but two of the guy characters, these two, they're dating. And
oh, yeah. One of them Hulkling?
Hulkling, yeah, that's one of them. Oh, and the Wiccan, I think is the other one.
Sounds right. I think I heard of that. So,
and you know, America's in this, Kid Loki and Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. So, those two, one of them, their mother passed away like a while back, and the Wiccan, he like jumps through dimensions at some point and like saves his mom and like brings his mom back. So his mom comes back, and you know, hopefully I'll find her throughout this art, but which I love the art. Art's great. So he brings his mom back and thought that was a great thing, but guys, turns out no, because like she's crazy and evil because she's been torn through dimensions or something, and she ends up like this goop comes out of her face, and and she's totally evil. Look at her, she's terrible. I'll have to find that first. I'll try to find it. This is not gonna be easy, but that first time she comes back and she like, they think she's fine, and then stuff comes out of her face. It's crazy. Let's see. No, yeah.
Hayden McGee, yeah. This is a good one. Isn't this the one that got banned in Brazil recently because Wiccan and Hulkling kiss? I believe you are correct.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of kissing in this. So if you don't like two boys kissing and it's in here, watch out.
Ew.
Gross. Well, anyway, I can't find her creepy face. I'm sure I'll find it at some point. But all of the parents, from all of them, even the dead ones, come back. And they all start like, they're all evil, and they all try to kill them. And it becomes like a big, like, oh no, look at all these murderous parents. A lot of them were previously
sounds like
dead.
Riverdale.
And they, you know, they act like their parents, and they talk to them as if they're like disciplining them and things that like they would say to their kids. And, you know, America's just like, oh, get me out of here. Like my parents are being horrible, and literally horrible. So they kind of got to defeat the evil parents, and that is what this entire book is about, that one arc of the evil parents. I found it very fun, very entertaining, pretty creepy. And then, you know, you put yourself there like, oh no, what if I had evil parents come back and like try to kill me? That would suck.
Yeah.
You know, those are the people you're supposed to love and trust the most, and most of them did previously.
Yeah, right.
But then they're all trying to kill you. So it was just really fun, and I liked the characters. I thought they were really fun characters. It made me want to read more of them. And this is one that you can just go into totally blind, because like I love Marvel, but I haven't read tons of Marvel. But I didn't need anything to read this and understand it. So
okay, good.
If you haven't picked it up yet, this is one of those great little omnis. And I think it's totally worth your time. I really enjoyed it. I had fun. Oh no, there's a kiss.
Uh-oh.
Gotta ban it. But yeah, it was great, and I love the ending, and it was worth the ride. It was very fun. So evil parents, creepy times. I loved it.
I totally want to read that. I have 2 other hardback Young Avengers books, and I can't remember if I'm supposed to read them before Young Avengers or not.
Well, if you were, I didn't, and I was fine.
Okay.
So, but you know, some stories are good like that, and you don't need stuff. But some of them are confusing. This one was totally blind. Didn't know half these characters, like I said, but I enjoyed it.
And let's see. Thank you, T2 Fallen. I appreciate that. I did do a walk in the woods at midnight earlier, and it was about the movie Don't Breathe. And I'm still freaked out by that movie. I always watch them the morning of the show, so I remember more. And I was trembling for like an hour. It was so silly. I was trying to text my co-host Jenny, gosh, what a great movie, and I'm like fumbling all over my phone. I couldn't get my fingers to stop. So the next book I read, there's 3 of these too. I read the first one a while ago, but I had to reread it, to get up to date. Another Cullen Bunn book, Bone Parish. This book kicked butt. It was amazing. It takes place in New Orleans. And there's a new drug on the market. And it's called ash. And it's created from the created remains or the dead remains of dead famous people or dead literary people, people with interesting life experiences. They go grave robbing. This family goes grave robbing. And you snort this ash that they make out of the dead people through this process, and you experience the dead person's life. You can OD on it, but it's apparently the greatest high ever. And this ash, and it's sweeping New Orleans, and then the New York mob and the South American cartel get interested in it and want a piece of it. And so it's very much a book about family dynamics. The patriarch of the family has died, leaving the mom in charge, the matriarch, and she's got 3 headstrong young sons. But here's this is what you experience. This is a guy does ash, and he experiences this love guru's life. Of course, who ended up, all his followers committed suicide, and he committed suicide. I don't think the ash user committed suicide. No, he didn't. He just experienced it, and he said he wanted more. That's the cartel guy. Now this I understood by Cullen Bunn. This is 3 volumes, and it involves, you always see this guy, and that's Death. He's always following the family around. I didn't mean to spoil it for you, but that guy over there is Death. And the cops are involved, and it's a whole thing. And the New York mob gets sent down to take care of things, and the cartel comes up because the family that's in charge of the ash strikes back really harsh and hard at some things that the cartel has done. So it's kind of a gang war. Cops are involved, carving up dead bodies and snorting their remains type of book. One of those types of books.
Yeah, as you do.
As you do. And it comes to, I thought, a very good ending that I thought was perfect for the book. The art does change throughout. You don't get the wait, does it? No, the same artist, Alex Wimeres and Jonas Scharf. So the art stays the same. It's really good all the way throughout. And this book, I totally got, totally loved it. And I highly, highly recommend Bone Parish. It's 3 books and done. It's by Boom Studios, like The Empty Man. So I was on a Cullen Bunn kick this week. But Bone Parish, highly recommend it.
Nice. I'll do that on a Hoopla.
Does Hoopla have Boom books?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's where I read a lot of my Boom books.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just DC and Image.
Nope. There's IDW, Dark Horse, Boom. There's some Fantagraphics. There's a lot. Lion Forge stuff.
Ooh.
It's a whole new world for you, Jess.
It is.
Start singing. All right, so this is my favorite pick, and I think it's one you're going to like, so you should check out. It is by Fantagraphics, and it's called Bastard.
I love it already.
This is something that Reed put in our last IST order, and we got it in, and I was like, what on earth is this? I'm reading this. So I did. It's very simple black and white line work, which I really enjoyed. I tend to like that art style. And it is about this woman here and this kid. That's her kid. And the woman lives a life of crime. So she robs banks and she gets in trouble, and that's how she makes her money. You know, she's involved in she's not in the mob, but like adjacent to the mob. You know, she's just does a lot of crime. So she's on the road a lot. She moves them around a lot, takes them from like motel to motel. And the kid is used to it. You know, he's like, oh yeah, we're moving again. Okay, let's go. Like, he's very aware of what his mom does for a living. To the point where, you know, they go on all these adventures. They're like trying to outrun some people at some point because, of course, like his mom did something that made someone mad, probably stole money or something like that. And they're being shot at and stuff, to the point where, like, so here's some intruders that are in this house that they're staying in and try to get like money, and like she's bashing his head in front of the kid, right? Like, so it's very violent. Well, if you're not into that, that's too bad. Like, it's so violent. Don't check it out if you're not. But so this is them on the run, hitching a ride in a semi. Her kid's in the back sleeping, and you know, eventually what happens is, and I don't want to spoil everything, but she gets in trouble with some people, and they're following them. They're trying to find them. And they eventually, like, really injure his mom. So, like, here they are, they smash into their car. And she ends up getting super hurt. Like, she's unconscious here. And the kid's like, oh, crap, what am I going to do? Well, he ends up taking, let's see if I can get a good shot of it. He ends up, like, slicing one of the guys who's after them in the face. So he ends up committing a lot of crimes to try to save his mom. He even, like, gets him at gunpoint here, which is just really awesome. And he's like, I'm in charge. He's shooting, and he makes them go away, and like gets his mom somehow out of the car unconscious, and kind of saves her life there. And that's crazy. And it gets just like really plot twisty and interesting from there on. And I won't tell you all that, but there's twists and turns in this. It's not just a typical action-packed sort of situation, though there is that. There's a lot of crime. I really like the addition of, I mean, it's called Bastard because that's her bastard kid. Like,
okay.
That's why it's called that. But yeah, it was just really unique and a good time. And it was way more heartfelt than I thought it would be, which I love books like that. I'm like, oh, she's, you know, robbing banks and she doesn't care about anything, but she cares about her kid. And it's great. I really loved it. 5 stars from me.
Wow.
Check this out. Yeah, it was just like super unique, and the twists and turns, I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect it, and it was a good time. So I think you'll like this, Jess.
Okay. Bastard and Herobear and Chubbly and the Wumblers, or whatever that one was.
I'll write it out for you.
Okay, good. This next one is more mainstream than anything, and I can't really add anything to it. Everybody knows how great Lazarus is. This is book 3. Lazarus is one of my all-time favorite books. This is a little different. Taylor Brown and I had a discussion about it, and I think he's right. I felt there wasn't enough about Forever in here. She's the Lazarus for the Carlisle family. And for those of you who don't know, the world has been broken up into corporate families that run the world. And the Carlisle family has most of the United States, and their Lazarus is their warrior who can defeat. And every family has a Lazarus, and sometimes they negotiate for peace. Sometimes they do battle with each other. Sometimes they take on entire armies. Forever takes on entire armies in this book. I wish the whole book was about Forever because she's so great. But it's also got the X plus 66 stories in it, which in retrospect, I changed my mind about because at first I didn't like it because there wasn't enough of Forever in it. But the X66 stories, there are a bunch of short stories in here by Greg Rucka with different artists that flesh out the world even more. And the world building in this book is incredible. To the point where they have a designer that designs all the things that appear in the comic on the wall, and they have fake ads in the back of this that appear in the book, and it's super remarkable. But the X66 stories are really good, and they add an extra flavor to the book. And I'm agreeing with Taylor now that they are essential to the enjoyment of the book because they do flesh out so much of the world. And like here's some of the fake, let's see if I can get, some of the fake ads that appear in the book. Like on the pages of the comic, they design all these things before they put them into the comic. And there's a guy that's in charge of that. And they're all really remarkable. So lots of people know about Lazarus. I love Lazarus, and this book is no exception. I can't believe that I read it after Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I prioritize Power Rangers over Lazarus, and Taylor will never let me forget that.
Were they back to back?
What?
Did you read them back to back, like right after?
I read Power Rangers 1 and 2, and then I read Lazarus.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination too.
Well, I had a show with Tyler Blunt about Power Rangers.
So you had to.
I know, and I still haven't got to Saga number 3. So
yeah, I got that coming in the mail. I don't even own it yet, so I need to do that too.
So I need to read Saga number 3 should probably be my next thing that I read.
It's a good idea before we're all spoiled, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I've already had it sort of spoiled.
Yeah, I've heard enough where I'm like, I know what happens, but still gonna read it.
Yeah.
All right, well, those are my books.
Oh, those are your books.
Those are my books. I think you have another one, maybe, right?
I think I've already covered this book. It's Coda.
Yes.
I read volumes 2 and 3 by Cy Spurrier, who is one of my favorite writers. And I should have included this on honorable mentions for 2019 because Coda is really, really good. It's magic and fantasy. All the magic in the world has gone away. There's only a little bit of magic left. And this one bard named Hum is out to, initially we think he's trying to find his wife. His wife is of a different species. There are all kinds of different, she's an Urkin, who are warriors. There's all kinds of different species in this book. Hum himself has a unicorn that actually is more like a quadruple corn, and it's really bad-tempered and is a really great part of the book. And it's what he has to go through to find his wife, and then he tries to change his wife because she can go berserker, and it turns out that she really likes that part of her and doesn't want it to be changed. So Hum has to change his whole thought process. There's a mermaid in a bathtub that is like a source for cash. What am I thinking of? Like who you go to on the street when you want things. She's the main dealer of favors, let's say. The mermaid in the bathtub. And the art is great, and the mermaid in the bathtub wants to take over the world, and there's a family that stays in charge in a castle that stays in charge by carving off the flesh of a magic elf they still have to create magic to power their weapons. And it's freaking great. I really loved Coda, and it was my fault that I left it off the 2019 honorable mention list because the art's beautiful and the writing is just sharp as always from Cy Spurrier. So I really, really dug Coda.
Those colors look really crazy and cool.
They pop.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, Mateus Vergara is the artist throughout the whole thing, and let's see who the colorist is. Colorist illustrated by Mateus Vergara with color assists by Michael Doig.
Nice.
Doig. So yeah, I think you'd totally dig this. It's from Boom.
Yeah, it's another Hoopla. Yep.
I think you'd dig this on Hoopla.
Awesome. I'll do it.
That's pretty much it for me.
Awesome.
Are there any questions we can answer in the chat for the next 2 or 3 minutes, or have we sated your interest in new books? We can go over what we got, what we read. For those tuning in late, I read Sonata on Hoopla. I read The Empty Man by Cullen Bunn. I read Bone Parish by Cullen Bunn. I read Lazarus by Greg Rucka. And I read a lot. And I read Coda, 3 volumes by Cy Spurrier.
Look at you. Good job.
Thank you. Considering I had a bad back and all this week, usually I just sit and feel sorry for myself.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't.
I know.
I'll go over mine again. Herobear the Kid. You guys need to get this. It was great.
Yeah, I totally want that.
Tomboy by Liz Prince. I think you'd also enjoy this, Jess. It was good.
Okay.
Really good. Young Avengers. The little omnibus, which is such a nice size. Because now I'm like, oh, I finally completed this omnibus. It's tiny. And then The Great Bastard.
Yeah, I want to get Bastard
Great.
too.
Really great.
Coda is a Boom imprint. And Jake Forgerelli, just do real life horror stories bother you or just fiction? Real life horror stories, you mean like war and stuff?
Or like true crime, maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I usually just watch horror movies for my horror channel. I don't seek out real life ghosts or anything.
My favorite podcast is My Favorite Murder, which is a
true
crime podcast.
Yeah.
True crime comedy podcast. It's great.
My Favorite Murder.
Yeah, it's really good.
My wife and daughter are totally into crime podcasts. I'll tell them about that.
If they don't know it, yeah, that would be right up. I think it's just like right up any true crime fan's alley. It's great.
Here's a good question that I don't know the answer exactly to.
Oh boy. I just got the Animal Man omnibus by Jeff Lemire.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
I already got it, but the book I was looking forward to the most was Batman Black and White. But I managed to snag it early. That was the one that I'm really looking forward to, and I'm really crossing my fingers that DC doesn't cancel Superman Batman by Jeff Loeb and some art by Michael Turner. I want that to be an omnibus because all I have it in is trade paperbacks. Excuse me. All I have it in is trade paperbacks, and I really want that omnibus to come out. If it doesn't, it's in absolute form, so that's not a bad thing. So I'll just settle for the absolutes. They're not out of print, but I really want it in omni form.
I'm also really excited about, there's going to be more Royal City by Jeff Lemire.
Ooh,
and
that's a good book.
Love that series, so I'm very excited about that. That's coming out this year.
Let's see. For your information, Herobear and the Kid did a 20th anniversary Kickstarter for a hardcover last year.
Oh man, I missed it.
And it's no longer on IST.
Oh, what a bummer.
Well,
maybe I'll have to track that down. I'm sad.
With the hardcover?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. They may be on sale on eBay.
Yeah, I'll
or maybe from the author himself.
Oh yeah, good
They
idea.
do that a lot. They keep them on their websites.
True, true.
What is that writer's name?
Mike Kunkel.
Mike Kunkel. Okay.
I'll look that up.
This person always has the best questions. I was unfamiliar with that, Roberts.
I'm gonna go with no.
2,000 pounds is an awful lot of weight. I'm going to say I don't quite believe that, but I wasn't there to witness it, so I can't say. That seems like a stretch to me. This only Kristen can answer.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me get my Goodreads link for you.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, serious? She says yes.
Totally. Someone's also asking if we've read Claws. Oh, yes. Yes, I have. I loved it. I gifted that to my dad this year for Christmas, and he loved it. And my mom read the first book, too, and she loved it. So it's a family love.
Wow, parents that read comics? That's amazing. Did Jess listen to Hell Young yet? No. Do I know what you're talking about? It's probably an album I bought and forgot I owned it. I don't know what Hell Young is. Do I? Justin Perry? What do I...
Tell me what I know.
Or did you tell me to listen to it and I was going to Spotify it? And as Jake Forgerelli, true crime, investigations of murders and things like that, no. I'd rather just have horror, fiction horror. Oh, you posted it?
Yeah, I think it should work.
I don't see it in my chat. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You're just slow, right? Oh, do you maybe have it on Top Chat?
I have it on the regular thing. I'm not on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're on YouTube, guys, and you're on Top Chat, it's not showing up. If you're on live chat, it is. That's weird. I just checked.
I don't think it worked, Hayden. You need to keep it going. And I forget what justice I need. Oh, good. Have you read these Savage Shores?
I haven't. I have that coming from IST, though. So
that was my #1 pick of last year.
Yeah, I just saw that. I posted it, and I just posted it again. Can anybody see that? I don't know. I see it. It's weird.
Maybe since I hosted it. Maybe since I'm hosting, it doesn't show up.
You want me to send it to you?
Oh, that roller derby Harley statue I'm not allowed to have. Yeah, why don't you send it to me? Send it to my...
I'll send you a message.
Okay.
Once my Facebook loads. Someone's also asking about a 2020 Goodreads goal. I know you don't have one, right?
I don't have gold.
My Goodreads goal is 400 this year, so I'm 10 deep. I think I can do it.
400?
That's right.
Holy guacamole.
I mean, last year I had like 369, I think, so I got close.
Okay, are you messengering this to me?
Yeah, just did.
There it is. Okay. Okay, wait a sec. I think there's a way I can copy and paste. Yada-da. Yada-dee. Yada-da. Okay, I will copy and paste this right now. Kristen's Goodreads handle. Now let's see if this works. How's that?
I see it.
I see it.
You guys tell me if that works.
Does anybody else see it? It's from me. You should see this.
Should be able to go there and friend me, and I will friend you back. Which I think Jess, have you friended me, Jess? I think you have. I see your stuff.
Okay, then we must.
I think, yeah.
The link has appeared. Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, I understand. I understood why it wasn't working for you. Just what's your favorite rock guitar solo besides Stairway to Heaven? Something from Enter Sandman. Any guitar lick from Enter Sandman.
Lloyd is asking if I've achieved my 2019 Goodreads goal. Yes, my goal was 365. I got to 369. I'm also being asked if I'm a guy on Goodreads. That is a character from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's not a picture of me.
Oh.
If anyone watches that show, they'll recognize that scene, and it's hilarious. So that's who that is.
That's a show I need to watch.
Oh my gosh, Jess, you would love it. It's right up your alley. It's great.
How many seasons is it?
I think it's up to like 11 now, but they're 30-minute episodes, and there are only 10 a season. So
okay.
It's very short.
Have you read Despicable Deadpool?
Yes, I loved it.
There's a question for you then.
Back to the ending. I don't even know if I remember the ending. I do remember the ending. I like the ending, Friday. Yeah, I really liked it.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I gotta watch that.
Oh, you do. And it's on Hulu.
I'm watching The Good Place right now.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, we're about
it's so good.
6 episodes into season 2, and I literally at least 3 times laugh during each episode so hard I lose my breath.
It's forking amazing.
It's working amazing. What the short is going on in there? I love that. And I mean, I'll have to pause it. I'm laughing so hard, and my wife is laughing because I'm laughing.
It's great. That's a good one.
It is really good.
Yeah, and if you guys like creepy horror stuff, You on Netflix is so good.
Lou Rodriguez says that too.
Oh my gosh. It's based on a novel. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I just finished season 2. It's amazing. So check it out. It's very creepy, very horror. It's so good. Yeah, it's great. Okay.
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Netflix. Got to do those first 2 90s movies, but finish The Good Place first. Okay. I will do that. Ooh, is it stalky? Does it involve a stalker? I don't like stalkers.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's totally a thriller. It's from his perspective. Yeah, he definitely stalks and murders. So, I mean, he's a murderer, so of course he's going to stalk. Oh.
Okay. Well, that shouldn't upset me then.
I mean, it still may upset you because it's upsetting, but it's great. It's very well done. He's very creepy.
I don't know if that was strictly because of me. This has got to be somebody that really knows me well in real life. Because I always used to go in there to Starbucks. This one Starbucks, for anytime you get a free drink, it used to be you could get whatever you want. And so I'd say I'd like a 12-shot mocha frappuccino, extra venti, like the biggest thing I could get, and it would come in 2 cups because it made so much. And I'm not kidding when I say 12 shots. I asked for 11 or 12 one time, and I did it so much that they changed the policy at the store. But I think it was more that the whole nation was taking advantage of it, and not just me. I don't think it was based just on me. I think the whole nation was going in with like blenders and saying, fill this up with coffee and blend in some banana with it or something. That's a hilarious question, though. Here's a question for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I read the first 2 issues of Fearless. It was like 3 issues. It was broken up into like little stories, and then there was one story throughout it that I found way more enjoyable than the rest of the stories. So I should check out the trade, Freddie. I'll have to do that. I won't purchase it because it really hated the way they did it in the 2 issues, but I'm curious about that one good story throughout it. And it's one of those things, yeah, some things broken up like that are not as enjoyable. So I may like it in trade form. I'll check it out, Freddie.
Here's one for me. Yes, I did catch up on Star Trek Discovery. I loved it, and I am going to be watching Picard as soon as it airs. Has it already aired? As soon as it airs. I definitely loved Star Trek Discovery this year. Especially with the, well, I don't want to spoil it. That's at the very end. But somebody appears at the very end. It's really cool. And it's not Spock. Picard starts the 23rd. Okay. And what's Fearless? Is that a floppy?
Yeah, like Freya and I read the first 2 issues and reviewed those back in the day. It's all like female characters, but the way they did it, like there were a few short stories throughout it, and one kept continuing throughout at least the 2 issues we read. And I found all the short stories because they were too short, like 2 pages sometimes. Like it was bad. And I was annoyed by that. I did not think that was enough. And then there was this one great story with, I think Kelly Thompson may have wrote it. I can't remember, but she was involved in this somehow.
Oh,
it was all female creators too.
Oh,
Marvel stuff. So, yeah. But there's this one story throughout it that was good, and I wanted to know what was happening. But the way they were like drawing it out throughout, I don't know. I didn't like that. But in trade form, maybe it'll be better. I can see that being better.
Oh, Hayden. I don't even know if I'm going to go to Birds of Prey.
Well, there'll be people there.
Awful. I mean, I do love Harley, but I don't know. That trailer just like such a mess. So it's Marvel characters.
Yeah, all
female,
the Marvel female
characters,
superheroes
written by female writers.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, which is great, and I'm glad they did something like that. But I don't know, I didn't love everything in it, and the way that it was broken up, especially with that one story throughout issues, that was like annoying to me. I was like, I think they could have done this better by just making like several different, like an anthology series maybe. So like one story for the first one for the second one. If they had done that, maybe I would like it more. But yeah, I'll still check out the trade.
Okay. Well, I'm about at the end of my brain capacity. I really only got about an hour's worth of concentration left.
I feel that.
in me these days. When can we see Fangirls Assemble?
Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think that's the time. Follow us at Fangirls Live on Twitter and at Fangirls Assemble on Instagram, and we will update you if that changes, but I think that's time.
And you can follow me, OmniDog, on OmniDog's Vault right here on YouTube and Instagram. I'm posting up a storm on Instagram. So please follow me on OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. I got 2 action figures that I'm going to wire up in poses and post pictures of.
That's awesome. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm actually going to do better at it this year. My personal comic Instagram is at The Comic Slayer. So check that out. And
okay.
I followed you. You didn't follow me back. It's fine.
I'm so lame at it. I don't even know how to find comments on it. All I know is I can view the pictures, but I'm like, oh, people are commenting on it?
Oh, the pictures is what matters, right?
Right. Okay, thank you to the chat. Thank you very much. The chat was very lively today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, all of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Kristen for joining me.
Thank you for having me as always. Thank you everyone for watching.
And thank you to whoever's viewing this after the fact. And please give me a like, subscribe if you like, and leave a comment. We always respond to comments. So peace and love, peace and love. Thank you very much.